Hi, this is Mariette Hartley, and you are listening to TV Confidential.
Ed Robertson along Chuck Harter and our guest Harvey Lisberg. Harvey Lisberg, the legendary music manager who began his career as an accountant, but whose life changed forever in 1963 when he first heard the Beatles' Please Please Me on the radio and realized that he could be Manchester's answer to Brian Epstein. In the course of the next year, Harvey's ear for music, his knack for numbers, and his willingness to take chances transformed a local group originally known as Herman and the Hermits into the international phenomenon Herman's Hermits. Harvey's memoir, I'm Into Something Good in My Life, Managing 10cc, Herman's Hermits, and many more, available wherever books are sold through Omnibus Press, as well as Amazon.com. As we went to break, Harvey had just told Chuck and I the backstory of how Mrs. Brown, You've Got a Lovely Daughter became the last track on the first album of Herman's Hermits, quite by accident, and how part of the appeal of Herman's Hermits was that they were different from most other British bands at the time.
So we had the first hit, that was I'm Into Something Good. Show Me Girl was a disaster. All my friends were telling me we're a one-hit wonder and what you're wasting your time for, all my friends. Then the third record was Silhouettes, which was the Rays number, Bob Crew Generation.
Right.
And that was, Let played the guitar riff on that. Let tell me how to play the guitar riff on that. I couldn't play it. It was too difficult for me. It just made me mad because it was so difficult. Then I think we had Can't You Hear My Heartbeat was in America, became a hit. Listen People had gone in the film, which we've not touched either, the film story, but we did a film where the boys meet the girls with Connie Francis.
Yes. That
had Listen People in, which was Graham Gould, and that went to number 2 in America. And then we got this album came out, right? And on this album was Mrs. Brown, You've Got a Lovely Daughter, which was the last track. And MGM and the DJ started picking on this track. So every single town we went in, we're doing the Dick Clark Caravan of Stars tour.
This is in America.
Every single town played Mrs. Brown, You've Got a Lovely Daughter. Mm-hmm. So MGM said to Mickey, would you put it out? He said, no way. Because A, he didn't publish it. B, he didn't find it. C, it was not anything to do with his input. And Mickey had a healthy ego, so that wasn't going to happen. So they said, well, we'll pay you on 600,000 records. Would you then put it out? I said, no. 800,000, no. 1 million records. Now, Mickey has to go with it because by then the DJs were playing it every minute of the day. It was on every station in America. Anyhow, it entered the Billboard charts as the highest new entry of any act up to that time. Came in at 12, went to 3, won for 4 weeks, keeping the Beatles' help off number 1. We outsold the Beatles for a month. That was really, as I say, everything I turned to gold. Mm-hmm. So that had this cute English voice on, and we gathered all the girls that tried picking us up or tried to get hold of us. Oh, stick around, Harvey, we'd love to hear your voice, because I've got an English accent. Something in the American psyche is seduced by, and talk about women, seduced by the English voice. I don't know why, but anyway, it's a fact. Are you from Australia? No, I'm from England. Okay. South Africa? No, England. Because it's just something that they get. So then we thought, right, well, let's do something else. So we decided we're going to do Henry VIII, which is a song that was, I think, from 1911, a musical song that anybody in any pub in England would sing. And we did it, and then Peter did that little genius part, second verse, same as the first. Mm-hmm. We just made it even worse.
Yeah, Joe Brown had the hit.
Screaming number 1 hit. And then we thought, right, we've got to carry on with this, so we did Leaning on the Lamppost, which was done in 1937 by a guy called George
Formby.
Mm-hmm. He used to wear a hat like that.
Yes.
And
yes.
He was a very, very nice, he was a very brilliant comedic banjo player. He was a genius. He was just wonderful. George Formby.
Count Your Blessings and Smile.
Yeah,
was one of the songs.
Yeah, it was amazing. Leaning on. We then did some more, which didn't subsequently get put out as singles. Oh, Mr. Porter, we did another traditional song. We could have done it. It was very easy for us because we could just rattle them off. You just go to the musical hits. Oh, Mr. Porter, what should I do? That sort of thing. And we went. Anyhow, so that was the whole of that era, using the English accent and the cheeky English accent following on from Mrs. Brown, Henry VIII, leaning on a lamppost. And then I think we switched to probably then No Milk Today, and there's a kind of hush and other more serious thing. Mickey got hold of it again, having rejected a lot of stuff that I gave him. I gave him For Your Love, which he rejected. I gave him Bus Stop, which he rejected. And I gave him Any Dream Will Do, which was then called I Fancy You by Rice Webber, which he rejected. So Mickey was Mickey, but Mickey was a genius. I mean, he did pick wonderful songs.
Well, Mickey was a genius, and that's true. But when early on, did he come and say to you, I'm not using the boys on the records? I'm going to use session men? What happened?
We went down to London. We didn't know what was happening. We didn't have fully equipped and everything. They got in the studio and the track was done. You know, we just had to sing on it.
Okay, well,
the boys' voices.
With that said, did the 4 band members say anything to you as the manager? Hey, how come we can't play?
This is when friction developed between Peter, who got all the press because everybody wanted the press for Peter, but not only that, they weren't even being used on the record, which was a real bone of contention, you know, for them, because then their songs weren't used either, and they were very good. They were very good. They were a good musical band that was, and I was in an impossible position. You know, you don't rock the boat.
Right.
You're having hit after hit after hit after hit. You can't say, no, I want to do it this way, and you forget your way. It's Mickey Most attitude is it's my way or is the my way or
the highway, yeah.
Well, as that went on for the next 5-6 years in the career, did their resentment?
The resentment probably started in about 1967 or 66 when they'd had about 8 or 10 hits. The group were in the same position. I mean, it's all very well. They were earning good money. They got a phenomenal record deal and everything, so you couldn't really complain. And that deal had been done Mickey's way. And I don't think Mickey was... I don't know. It's a touchy one. I don't know. I think the way Mickey did it, his formula was fantastic. And he did it with other artists. So, you know, I think... Look, I was lucky to have ever met Mickey. You know, I mean, Mickey was goldman to me. And his manager was Alan Klein, who also was involved in, you know, developing the MGM deal. And, of course, he looked after himself more than anybody else.
Yeah, that's true.
But
that's part of what you do as a manager. You realize, okay, I think this is a good song for the group, but if Mickey says... otherwise, then you have to sort of let Mickey stay in his lane. But in the meantime, you know, if you still believe in the song, you may find another group, singer.
I wanted to get For Your Love to the Beatles.
Yeah.
I was certain. I mean, it was the first song Graham had written.
Mm-hmm.
And I wrote it with him as well, editing it parts and coming up with suggestions on it. And I was very happy with that song. And Graham thought I was mad. You're not going to get it to the Beatles. But I went to see the Beatles with Graham. With the purpose of placing For Your Love with the Beatles.
Aim high.
So there we are. And the guy behind me, it was the Hammersmith Odeon, and the Beatles' opening act was the Yardbirds. Mm-hmm. And behind me was a publisher who published For Your Love, who'd done a deal with. And he said, would you mind? I said, here's the demo. Would you take it to the Beatles? I even said, look, I don't say... they will do it, but I'd like to get their opinion of the song. That was all. Just, you know, because I thought once they'd heard that, they'd do it.
Yeah.
And I think they would have done, but I don't know. So he comes back after the interview and said, would you mind very much if I play it to the Yardbirds? I said, I wouldn't mind. Who the bloody hell are the Yardbirds? I said, they're a bloody rhythm and blues band from London. What have they got to do with... No, I don't want to. He said, well, would you meet the manager? And Giorgio Gomelsky. He managed the Rolling Stones. He had a Crawdaddy club.
Right.
And he was a charmer. He looked like Rasputin.
Right. Russian.
You know, really unkempt-looking, rough Russian with a tremendously deep voice. And he got round me. And he said, let me just try it. Just let me try it. We tried it, and that was it. Number 1. A Bus Stop, again. that should have been a Hermits track. I mean, that would. I mean, there is an argument that maybe For Your Love wasn't rock, but Bus Stop was perfect for Peter and the harmonies that the boys had. Because although Mickey didn't use the boys from the recording side, he certainly used the voices. The voices are critical on all the records.
So it is the band singing backup on the records?
Oh,
good. Okay, I thought I could hear that.
Always. They did it. We didn't. I don't think we had any ancillary backing voices. I think we just have, always.
Because, Harvey, on YouTube, there's a lot of clips of the Hermits with Herman playing live, where you can hear them actually play, and they could play. So it must have been galling.
There's no question.
No, but it must have been galling for them that they're invisible, and after a while, did they get sullen? Did they resent Peter?
I wrote songs, and the songs did deserve to be done by. I mean, songs in those days weren't the standard that they were a year later.
Right.
But the initial rough lot. But I just couldn't get anywhere with him. They'd written very nice songs, and they couldn't get anywhere with him. All they could do was, they didn't even get B-sides. You know, it was like always a battle, because the B-sides money, publishing, it's just money.
It's the same, yeah.
I mean, you know, it's a very cynical thing. I mean, for instance, Barry Manilow, I sent him a song that he liked of Graham Goulman's, and he recorded it with a 20-piece orchestra. And he sent the demo. I thought, oh, fantastic. And when it came to the record coming out, he didn't put it on the record. And I said, why? He says, well, we only do only songs that are written by other people. Those are only the singers. Everything else is written by me. So I had this gorgeous record written by Graham that never saw the light of day. I mean, this is what went on. It's a sad thing, really, because the money really does affect which tracks are used, etc. Also reduces the quality of the album. My whole beef with 10cc when they had later albums was, why don't you do a cover occasionally? Because you're so brilliant with your music and your interpretation, why not do it? And it was only in about 1993 when the band had way past their sell-by date, probably, as far as the recording hits. They did Across the Universe by the Beatles, which was just brilliant.
Oh, yeah, that was a good one.
Beautiful.
Stay with us, folks. We'll be right back.
This portion of TV Confidential is brought to us by our friends at Front Porch Realty, the community of realtors in the Northern Bay Area of California that is committed to finding the solution that is best for their clients. Whether you're a first-time home buyer or looking to sell or lease your property in Northern California, call Karen Strain at 415-886-7411 or visit frontporchrealtygroup.com for more information on how they can help you.
Ed Robertson thanking you for listening to the TV Confidential podcast. If you like what you hear, please hit the subscribe button so that you won't miss our next episode.
Hello, this is Louise Terrell. I'm talking to TV Confidential, and you should tune in because they're really wonderful.
Harvey Lisberg is with us via Zoom. Harvey Lisberg, legendary music manager and the mastermind behind such iconic artists as 10cc, Tony Christie, and Herman's Hermits. Harvey's memoir, I'm Into Something Good, My Life Managing 10cc, Herman's Hermits, and many more, available wherever books are sold through Omnibus Press as well as Amazon.com. Chuck?
In those days, a next step up for a popular rock band would be movies. So can you tell us about them getting the Hold On feature?
Charlie and I were in an office. It was in Kennedy Street's building. There were no windows in my office. It was a room which had a huge table in the middle, millions of cassettes all over the place, cigarette ash from people that smoked. And cards all over the place, because everybody played cards all the time, all day and night, while they were listening to music. So I get in on Monday morning, and there's two characters real characters. One with a seersucker suit on, and the other was a small guy with a cigar which was about 2 feet long. Mm-hmm. Hi, you Harvey Lisberg? And I said, yes. He says, can we come and see you? And I thought, oh my God, this isn't Santa Monica's 6th floor with a beautiful view of the ocean. What the hell are they going to think of this? And I said, yeah, okay, come in. We want your boy for a movie. said, it's impossible. I said, what do you mean? I said, look at the date sheet. It's totally full because we worked that fast. The moment they had any success, they were working 367 days a year. There was no time off. And he said, what about there? And there was like 4 days off or somewhere in I don't know, May or something. He said, what about that? I said, that's 4 days. He said, yeah, that'll do. We'll be able to do it. Well, we'll give you $20,000. I said, no way. No. $30,000. No. $45,000. No, I'm not doing it. We haven't got, it's just too much help. Is there anything that could entice you into my letting you have the, letting me use this van? I said, Cadillac, you got it. Before I'd finished the sentence, I thought, now I'm really in it. So we got this huge Cadillac, and it just fitted into my parents' drive with about 1 inch on each side, where you scratch the bodywork. And Herman and the Hermits and myself shared that car. We had 4 months each, and I subsequently ended up with it. I took the last 4 months and kept it afterwards. And that's how we got the film. We went to do, that was the first film, Where the Boys Meet the Girls. And again, they were stuck for a number. Or Liberace was in the film, and he'd done some awful song like Hula Hula Liberace or something. It was some terrible song. We'd done the song with the Gershwin estate. And so Peter did Biding My Time, which was a Gershwin song published by Gershwin. So we had no control of the music. And then if I wanted, Peter said, can we do one of our songs? So, yeah, all right, well, yes, but we've got to publish it. And so we had Listen People, which I had from Graham, and Peter liked it, so they did that. And then when they did it, they would take into a weird part of MGM. I think it was a sounds where all the noises are made for film, and this funny little place, and made this recording, not in a substandard studio. Listen People, very simple. And that was a monstrous hit. Then Klein got involved, of course. Mrs. Brown was number 1 and everything, and he decided he wanted to do a film, Mrs. Brown, You Got a Lovely Daughter, and somehow I wanted $1 million, right, for the band to sign a contract. So Klein and Mickey and subsequent, everything went together to get this $1 million. And it included 2 films. One of them was Hold On.
We'll pick up that thread on the other side of the break. Harvey Lisberg is on the line with us. Harvey Lisberg, manager of 10cc, Herman's, Hermits, Tony Christie, and other iconic music artists. Chuck Harter is with us. We hope you'll stay with us as we continue our conversation with Harvey Lisberg here on TV Confidential.
Now you can fly anywhere in the world and pay discount prices on your airline tickets. Book a flight today to London, Paris, Madrid, or anywhere else you want to go. And pay a lot less guaranteed. Call the International Travel Department right now at Low Cost Airlines.
800-222-0511. 800-222-0511. Again, that's 800-222-0511.